The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Mankind. A unique answer to the ultimate question of life, the universe, and everything. A non-fiction book by Kendra Brooks. And a worldwide project. Back to capitalism. In the Western industrialist countries, capitalism has transformed into diarchism, a dual rule of capitalism and feudalism. Because many people live on the income of others, on ever-increasing national debts or at the expense of poorer countries. Western society is becoming increasingly divided. Not into rich and poor, but into payers and recipients. And the recipients are gaining more and more political weight. In order to close the rift in the society of Western industrialist countries and to relieve the burden on emerging and developing countries, feudalism must be pushed back. Any pension, financed by a pay-as-you-go system and regular contributions of employees, is part of feudalism. Counteracting this can only be achieved by increasing private pension provision. Those who are wealthy will have their state pension reduced. The money saved is used to build up the retirement assets of those in employment. And, of course, the retirement age must be constantly adjusted to the average life expectancy. In healthcare, families or individuals have to pay themselves their costs up to 10% of their net incomes and 2% of their assets. There are no governmental standard rates for medicine services or pharmaceuticals. The state must reduce its subsidies to opera houses, theaters, and museums. These houses must operate independently, thanks to patronage and better self-marketing. Subsidies for airports and airlines, public transport, or energy producers must also stop. Agriculture must once again face up to competition. Much larger farms and greater efficiency through robots and drones are needed to achieve this. And the population pays what the food really costs. Secondary residences must be fined by the state. The same applies to dwellings that are vacant or not rented to a taxable person. The revenues are used to build affordable rental apartments for workers and employees. All tenant protection can be lifted. Universities must cover 40% of their costs through student contributions, studentships, and donations, like in the USA. US scientists receive 3 times as many Nobel Prizes as European researchers. The US system works. The state may no longer record its infrastructure as an asset on its balance sheet, but must fully depreciate it in the year of construction. This will reduce the impulse for an ever-increasing public debt. All these measures will only take effect over the decades. But if we do not stop the trend towards feudalism, peaceful coexistence of payers and recipients will hardly be possible in future. The problem is not the wealth of a few people. Because if my needs and many of my desires are met, I don't care whether someone earns 1 million or 100 million a year. The problem is the growing sense of entitlement of ever larger sections of the population towards the working middle class. Nobody likes to pay for the sense of entitlement of others. This is the real reason for the division in Western society. This video reflects only 4 of the 600 pages of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Mankind. Dive with us into the depth of mankind. And become part of our worldwide project. Thank you for your attention. And for your donations to our project.